Take advantage of the Boxing King Media discount at BYD Sheffield. You can get this amazing car for £269 per month with a £269 deposit. Details in the description.
Boxing King Media, powered by BYD. Mr. Tony Sims, an exciting press conference. You weren't there on Tuesday, so I was kind of worried to see if today would be as good as Tuesday, but it might have been better, minus the egg incident.
Yeah, I mean, look, there was a lot of talk about other things other than boxing, really, and we're used to going to press conferences and speaking about boxing, and so it was a bit crazy, to be honest, but we got over the line. And like I've said before, these two fighters are polar opposites of each other, and you know, outside of boxing, they just would never get on, and they're two completely different people, and you know, like today's press conference probably showed that as well.
It definitely did. I think it was quite interesting. Chris again dominated the press conference, did all the talking. You spend a lot of time around Conor. How hard do you think it was for him to just kind of bite his lip and not really say, until obviously he threatened his dad? Yeah,
I mean, look, the incident that happened Tuesday obviously sparked a bit of fury in Conor, but he was in the gym with me this morning, and you know, that's left him now, and he knows there's a job in hand to do, and you know, it's a big fight. I mean, you know, I was fortunate enough to be at a Chris EUBANK fight at Old Trafford, and I know what you know, I know what that brought at that time. Watched the build up to it. Was ringside for the fight. You know, the atmosphere was like unbelievable, and this fight, I believe, is going to be the same, if not bigger. And we can see, like, from what we was watching online today, that how many people were queuing up for the tickets. I mean, this fight could have easily been done at Wembley, really, or even a bigger stadium at Wembley if we held one, because like everybody will want to get in to watch this fight.
Do you think Conor will be able to deal with the occasion? I know he debuted in a sold-out O2, a lot of pressure. He came out quite, you know, towards the end of the show where it was packed out. This is going to be 60, 70,000 people, because he's still relatively a young man. He's had to deal with a lot from a young age. So how do you think he'll deal with the whole occasion?
I think, like you say, the spotlight's been on him since day one. You know, he's Nigel Benn's son, and Nigel Benn's a legend in boxing, and he's had to deal with that spotlight from when he was a novice making mistakes right up until now. He's been under the spotlight, so I don't think fighting in a stadium with a bigger audience is going to make a lot of difference to his outlook on what he's going to do on come April the 26th.
A lot of back and forth in that press conference today. The big talking point was when Chris said to Nigel, "Don't, if you touch me again, you won't get your hand back." You obviously know Nigel, and I'll be honest, I wouldn't even know who to pick if them two got it on.
I think Nigel handled the situation really well, because obviously he didn't know what was in Chris's hand when Chris hit Conor at the time. So, you know, for all he didn't know whether he had a glass bottle on his, he didn't know what he was carrying. So he apologised for putting his hand around Chris's neck, and you know, as I said, I thought he handled the situation really well, Nigel.
Senior made a video the other day. I don't know if you've seen it or not. Have you seen it? He made some comments. He basically said the promoters are rinsing the public for this fight. This fight is not about ability, it's about the names. Just your response to that quite strong statement.
I just think it's very unusual. It's actually unknown, and it's a one-off that we've got two boxing legends that have actually boxed in the Battle of Britain in the 90s, to have two sons who both boxed for a start, not only both boxed for a start, are top 10 world level contenders, and it's very unusual to get a legend of the sport. You've seen other fighters like Roberto Duran's son, and you know, a lot of their sons, you know, they just ain't got it, but the two sons are both carbon copies of their dads. They're both good fighters. They're both world level fighters, and they're like, and then to have them actually fight each other, it's just like a one-off thing that could never probably happen again in the history of the sport. And You know, I think that's what makes it a massive occasion, is that who they are. And obviously they're both world class and they're both going to fight each other. And 30 years on from the dads fighting each other, that's what makes the fight so big.
He also made reference to Triple G versus Kell Brook, and he said the last time we saw a middleweight against a welterweight, we got a fractured eye socket. Do you have any concerns regarding that? You know, because ultimately Chris will be a lot heavier on the night.
Listen, Chris EUBANK ain't no Triple G for a start, and I think they've both got things that weigh in their, you know, that weigh in their advantage, and obviously Chris has got the weight and the experience. He's been in bigger fights, but Conor Benn's got the youth, and he's got the speed, and he's got the tenacity as well to, you know, level up the scales there. And that's what's so intriguing about the fight, is that, you know, whatever way you look at it, it's a level fight. If it happened 5 years ago when Conor was more a novice and Chris was in his prime, it would have been different, but it's a different fight now. And, you know, the scales are even. Conor Benn's last 2 fights have been at 154. And so, you know, in his eyes, he's just stepping up 1 weight, not 2. So, you know, I weighed him this morning. After training, he was 166 pounds. So, you know, he's fast at that weight and he feels good at that weight.
Fascinating stuff. I think it's going to be an exciting build-up, and I'm going to let young Oscar speak to you next.
Always,
I'll
mate.
catch you soon.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you very much.